If you don't look fire as with this filter, your jeans bad. And you need to be mad at your mom or your dad. I don't know which one of them ugly, but one of them ugly.
Just dangling.
In the early hours of March 23, 2024, a 36-year-old wife would be found dead in her home at around 7:55 a.m. Emergency services would respond to a report of a shooting at a residence of the 1900 block of Broken Shoe Trail. When investigators arrived at the scene, they were met with the body of a woman, 36-year-old Jasmine Armstrong, who had been killed by her husband, whom she trusted and loved and felt protected around, after finding out a disturbing truth about him. As the police dug for the truth, no one could have expected the shocking discovery that turned Jasmine's home into a crime scene and her husband into a killer. This is the life and death of Jasmine Goldring Armstrong. "36-year-old Jasmine Y. Goldring Armstrong was born on December 31st, 1969, in Barstow, California, and was a woman whose light touched everyone she met. Raised in a loving home by her devoted parents, Julius Timmy Goldring and Taisha Goldring, she grew up surrounded by the warmth of family and the joy of sibling bonds. From an early age, Jasmine stood out not just for her radiant smile and kind-hearted nature, but for her deep dedication to learning. Her commitment to education was not only admirable, but truly inspiring. Jasmine's spirit was vibrant, her presence unforgettable. Family and friends remember her as someone who exuded love, joy, and generosity. She had an extraordinary gift for lifting others up, effortlessly spreading hope and positivity wherever she went. Jasmine was strong, ambitious, and incredibly smart. A woman who met life's challenges with determination and grace. During her high school years, Jasmine was deeply involved in a variety of extracurricular activities, consistently making her presence felt through her magnetic energy and enthusiasm. She graduated with honors, leaving a lasting impression on both classmates and teachers. That same vibrant personality extended into something more. Jasmine pursued higher education with determination, earning a degree in Information Systems Management from the University of Maryland Global Campus. She later went on to pursue her Master of Business Administration from Prairie View A&M University's graduate program. While at Prairie View A&M, Jasmine became a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, a sisterhood that reflected her values of scholarship, service, and sisterly love. Her involvement in the sorority further showcased her commitment to leadership, community empowerment, and personal excellence. Jasmine Armstrong's academic journey wasn't just impressive, it was groundbreaking. As the first in her family to attend college, she didn't merely open a door. She carved out an entirely new path, one that her siblings and future generations would be inspired to follow. Known for her boundless compassion and generosity, Jasmine treated everyone she met with kindness and respect. Her warmth and authenticity left a mark on countless lives, so it came as no surprise when she caught the attention of a man who would change her life forever. She met 38-year-old Britton Alexander Armstrong from San Antonio, Texas, a man whose charm and shared interests made an immediate impression. According to his social media profiles, Britton attended Harker Heights High School, studied at Central Texas College, and later pursued network engineering at Cybertech's Institute of Technology in Killeen, as well as further studies at Temple College. Raised by his mother and stepfather, Britton had a range of personal interests that painted a picture of a well-rounded, easygoing man. He enjoyed painting in his spare time, was an avid gamer, and had a deep love for sports, especially when it came to cheering on his favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
I gotta get on road. We walking through here and shit. I want to see all these people.
He also portrayed himself as a man of strong faith. Britton regularly attended church services and often spoke about the importance of incorporating religious values into his family life. To many, he appeared grounded, someone who found balance between his personal passions and spiritual beliefs. In the workplace, Britton was described by coworkers as quiet but pleasant. He wasn't overly social, but He was respectful and easy to get along with. Most noticed that he kept his personal life private, never sharing much about what went on beyond office hours. The connection between Jasmine and Britton was instant. They were both young, driven, and full of life. From the beginning, they seemed to truly enjoy each other's company. Fun, affectionate, and often inseparable. Their bond deepened quickly. Soon, their relationship took a significant turn.
The one that owns Heroes Lounge right here. Yeah, let me introduce you.
From the outside, Britton appeared to treat Jasmine with love and affection. They laughed often, shared countless memories, and gave off the impression of being the perfect couple.
How'd that go? Cheers.
To friends and followers on social media, they were couple goals, a modern love story that radiated happiness and support. Britton seemed not only to adore Jasmine, but to genuinely admire her ambition and the path she was paving for herself. Jasmine's family was thrilled to see her with someone who made her happy. She was clearly head over heels in love, and Britton's attentiveness and charm made it easy to believe in their future. While Jasmine enjoyed the spotlight their relationship brought, what truly mattered to her was feeling understood and supported by someone who appeared to share her values and vision. With love blossoming and dreams taking shape, it felt only natural when Jasmine decided to take the next step in their journey together. After a few years of dating, Jasmine and Britton finally got married. Like any couple stepping into matrimony, they were met with new responsibilities, but they seemed more than ready. After their wedding, their bond appeared stronger than ever. They mirrored each other in style, humor, and energy, often described as twin flames. To friends and followers, they were the couple everyone admired, the kind of love story that made others believe in forever. Their connection looked effortless, enviable, and deeply rooted. But as we all know, what shines online doesn't always reflect reality. While adjusting to her new role as a wife, Jasmine also continued her journey as a student. Yet even amid these changes, her light never dimmed. Before long, the couple welcomed 2 children into their growing family, daughter Brielle and son Jediah. Jasmine fully embraced motherhood. She adored her children and poured her heart into creating a joyful, nurturing home. Britton appeared to be a hands-on father, and together, they seemed to have it all. A happy, vibrant household. To those looking in from the outside, Britton was the ideal husband, supportive, affectionate, and faith-driven. He appeared to be everything Jasmine could have asked for. Many believed she was incredibly lucky to have found such a devoted partner. For Jasmine, though, life was about more than love and family. It was about, also, legacy. Education wasn't just a pursuit, but a transformation. As the first in her family to navigate graduate-level studies, Jasmine's academic journey was a bold statement. She juggled her coursework, motherhood, and marriage with a quiet strength that left a lasting impression on everyone around her. By the time Jasmine reached the dissertation phase of her doctoral program, she had already established herself as a powerful, respected voice in her field. Her research focused on the stereotyping of Black women in higher education, a subject that wasn't just academic, but deeply personal. Her passion for the topic was evident in her social media presence, where she often shared reflections on identity, equity, and justice in education. Those close to Jasmine witnessed how she seamlessly blended her academic work with her role as a mother. She scheduled research interviews around school pickups and coordinated community meetings that her children could attend. Her advocacy extended to her own home. Her eldest child, Brielle, diagnosed with autism, received her unwavering support and protection within educational settings. Jasmine became a pillar in her community. She launched reading programs in underserved neighborhoods and mentored young girls aspiring to attend college. Through parent workshops and educational outreach, she helped families access opportunities that once felt out of reach, building pathways just like the one she had carved for herself. Her approach to parenting reflected her mission. Jasmine believed in empowerment, identity, and breaking generational barriers. She often said that her most important role was raising her children to understand their worth in a world that might try to diminish it. Jasmine grew up in a home where education was revered, even though neither of her parents had the opportunity to attend college. That respect for learning was deeply rooted in her family, laying the groundwork for the academic trail she would blaze, not just for herself, but for others. But something darker was brewing at home. Britton, once seen as supportive and proud, allegedly began to grow resentful. He didn't appreciate the way Jasmine was out there, visible, respected, and independent. What Jasmine didn't know was the very qualities that had once drawn Britton to her were now quietly becoming the points of tension in their relationship. To Jasmine, their life still felt full of love, but Britton felt like it was losing control. Friends began to notice subtle shifts. Britton would frequently interrupt Jasmine during conversations, downplaying her accomplishments or redirecting the spotlight. At social gatherings, he kept a close eye on her, often checking her phone or questioning her whereabouts. What seemed at first like concern soon revealed itself as something more controlling. But Jasmine's world would be shaken by this news. On February 11, 2024, Jasmine's beloved father, Julius Timmy Goldring, passed away. Known for his steady guidance and unconditional love, he had been one of Jasmine's greatest supporters throughout her life. His presence was a constant source of strength, and his absence left a deep void in her heart. Despite her grief, Jasmine remained resilient, carrying forward his values, his warmth, and the lessons he instilled in her, even as she navigated one of the most challenging years of her life. But as her academic success accelerated, so did the strain at home. She began skipping evening faculty events, often citing Britton's discomfort with her being out late. Some colleagues quietly voiced concerns, but Jasmine would brush it off. Despite Jasmine's rising academic reputation, Britton allegedly maintained strict control over their household finances. According to her sister, Jasmine had to justify nearly every purchase, while Britton made financial decisions without her input. And when Jasmine began gaining public recognition for her research, the emotional temperature at home only rose. The more she leaned into her identity, her purpose, her joy, the more unpredictable Britton's behavior became. Britton started showing patterns of mood swings, emotional outbursts, and increasingly controlling actions. He was desperate to regain control. To those closest to Jasmine, Britton's behavior was no longer just attentive, it was possessive. They began to notice subtle but alarming changes. Jasmine, once dependable and socially active, started canceling plans at the last minute, often offering vague or inconsistent reasons. Her communication became irregular. She stopped replying to texts or calls for hours, if at all. A colleague recalled a moment during a faculty meeting when Jasmine jumped at the sound of her phone, nervously checking the screen before silencing it. Another remembered her rushing out of department gatherings saying, "Britton expects me home by now." Even her appearance changed. Despite the warm Texas weather, Jasmine began dressing more conservatively, covering up in ways that seemed out of character. When asked about a visible bruise, she brushed it off, saying she just bumped into some furniture. Her social media also took a hit. Once an active voice in academic communities online, her posts became increasingly infrequent. Her mother would later admit that even phone calls felt different. Jasmine spoke carefully, choosing her words with noticeable caution whenever Britton came up. Then, one day, something tragic would happen, something that no one could have imagined. After enduring so much, Jasmine finally reached her breaking point. Jasmine allegedly reported Britton for sexual assault. Those close to the case shared that before making the formal report, Jasmine had opened up to a trusted friend and academic advisor, seeking both support and guidance. But that soon transformed into a quiet campaign for escape. Friends noted that Jasmine had started exploring housing options away from the family home. She'd also contacted legal counsel to discuss both the assault allegations and potential custody arrangements, signaling her growing resolve to break free from the situation. On Wednesday, March 20th, a neighbor reported hearing a heated argument erupt from the Armstrong home. The following evening, Jasmine confided in her sister, expressing her determination to leave the marriage permanently. But She also shared something that would ignite a deadly chain of events. She told her sister that she found something about Britton, something she believed confirmed that walking away wasn't just necessary, it was critical for her safety, although she never shared what it was. By Friday morning, Jasmine was geared up to leave. She met with a divorce attorney and began documenting household belongings. That afternoon, she visited her children's school to update pickup authorizations. By that Friday evening, witnesses reported seeing Britton making multiple trips between his car and the house, possibly removing items. A neighbor observed him looking agitated during a phone call in his driveway around 10 p.m. The following morning, Saturday, March 23, 2024, began with Jasmine calling her mother at about 6:30 a.m. to confirm plans for the children to stay with her the coming week. The call lasted just 4 minutes. That call would set off a terrifying chain of events no one could have predicted. Between 7:15 and 7:45 a.m., Britton returned to the house after reportedly spending the night somewhere else. Cell phone records show he called Jasmine 3 times during that window. Security camera footage from a neighboring property captured his arrival at 7:45 a.m., just 7 minutes before tragedy struck. At 7:55 a.m., emergency services received a distress call from a neighbor reporting hearing shouting, followed by what sounded like a gunshot in the home of Jasmine on the 1900 block of Broken Shoe Trail. When officers arrived at the scene, they were beyond words. Police found 36-year-old Jasmine unresponsive, lying in a pool of her own blood with a fatal gunshot wound. Evidence at the scene suggested Jasmine had been trying to leave the house when she was shot. Her car keys were still clutched in her hand, and a packed overnight bag was found near the front door. Her 2 children were discovered safe but deeply traumatized, hiding in an upstairs bedroom. But the most tragic event was yet to unfold. The oldest child later told a victim advocate that they had heard their parents arguing before their mother instructed them to go upstairs and lock the door. Evidence showed that Britton confronted Jasmine at the entryway of their home, blocking her escape before firing the fatal shot with a handgun registered in his name. After the shooting, Britton fled the scene in his silver sedan, immediately triggering a police alert. Law enforcement quickly spotted his vehicle heading southbound on Interstate 35. When officers attempted to initiate a traffic stop, Britton accelerated, sparking a high-speed chase. The pursuit lasted approximately 20 miles, with Britton driving erratically at speeds exceeding 90 miles per hour. Dashcam footage captured his car weaving dangerously through traffic, narrowly avoiding several collisions. Near Lorena, Texas, Britton lost control while attempting to exit the highway. His vehicle spun across the access road before coming to a stop against a guardrail. The violence didn't end there. As officers cautiously approached, they heard a single gunshot from inside the vehicle. Upon reaching the car, they found Britton had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The handgun recovered matched the weapon used in Jasmine's murder, confirming the case as a murder-suicide. When news of Jasmine's death reached her family, they were heartbroken and in disbelief. How did it get to this? But amid the heartbreak, one question quickly rose above the rest. What would happen to Jasmine's children, now suddenly orphaned? Jasmine's parents immediately traveled to Texas to care for their grandchildren, especially the eldest child, who was autistic and required additional emotional and developmental support during the transition. A GoFundMe campaign was launched by Jasmine's neighbor, which has raised over $11,000 to assist with the children's needs and care. Jasmine's academic department established a scholarship fund in her honor. Law enforcement coordinated specialized trauma counseling for the children who were placed under the temporary guardianship of their maternal grandparents, while formal custody proceedings were initiated. On April 16, 2024, loved ones gathered at the Willie A. Watkins Historic West End Chapel to celebrate the life of Jasmine Y. Goldring Armstrong.
Whereas she was sincere, generous, and supportive member of our chapter and a servant to our sisterhood and community. Whereas she loved and cared deeply for our crystal doves, her intake sisters, her children, and her sisterhood. Whereas her devotion and commitment to our chapter was demonstrated through her service as chair of the Senior Care Committee and as a member of our military support, Finer Womanhood Month, Jazz Night, March of Dimes, and Scrapbook committees.
The chapel overflowed with family, friends, colleagues, and community members. each carrying memories of Jasmine's warmth, brilliance, and unwavering spirit. Through tearful tributes and quiet moments of reflection, they honored a woman who gave so much of herself to others and whose impact will be felt for generations to come. The tragic death of 36-year-old Jasmine Goldring Armstrong serves as a chilling reminder that even within the walls of a seemingly loving home, danger can quietly grow, and the people we trust most can become the greatest threat. Let me know what you think in the comments section below.